I'm in the heart of what once was the Angus Yards. At the time, the largest factory in all of North America. Imagine this, during the Second World War, at its busiest, some 12,000 people worked here. It basically drove the economy here in Rosemont. That is until the yards were decommissioned in 1992. Then the community landed on hard times. But it took some vision and some hard work, and the Technopôle Angus took that history and built on it. From a desolate, contaminated brownfield in Rosemont rose a LEED-certified eco-neighborhood, the first of its kind in Quebec. The Technopôle Angus is a mix of business and retail, social, affordable, and student housing, built on about half of the old Angus Yards. Ever evolving, it all started with the Loco Shop in 1999.
This is really a hidden gem in Rosemont. When you enter this building, you can see the original structure where trains and locomotives were made and repaired.
The history of a bygone era memorialized on the walls, in the infrastructure, and the impressive arches of the Loco Shop. This is where CP built about 700 steam locomotives and about 800 tanks for the war effort. Decades later, the wave of deindustrialization sweeping through East End Montreal eventually caught up to the Angus Yards too. What caused the demise of Angus?
Well, the steam locomotive is a very labor-intensive piece of machinery. And everything they do, it was a joke. If you had a wrench and a hammer, you can probably fix anything on the locomotive, But then came the diesel locomotive, and it became more sophisticated. And with that, the railway purchased most of the locomotives. They never built any diesel locomotives. They refurbished them at Angus after the death of the steam locomotive. Rebuilt them and maintained them, but they never built any.
So then all the jobs went away.
And then the jobs diminished.
Unemployment in Rosemont soared by 20%. The local economy was in crisis, and the future looked bleak.
It's tough. It was very tough. And I had a lot of, when I was elected, of course, I had a lot of these very sad women coming in and saying the difficulties they had.
Young families picked up and moved out. Newly elected MNA Rita Dion-Marcellet inherited one of the oldest populations in the province. Determined to bring families and jobs back to the neighborhood, Dion-Marcellet came up with a modest $5,000 of government money to get the ball rolling. A team came back with an audacious plan.
They wanted to develop a nonprofit organization to build and manage and operate that site. It's pretty utopic.
But she believed in the project, so much so she became known as the Angus Minister, and today has a building named after her in the neighborhood. The nonprofit would become the Société de Développement Angus, led by Christian Iaccarini. His vision was to revitalize the neighborhood through sustainable development and innovative social economy businesses.
On voulait attirer des entreprises qui allaient adhérer à notre vision, mais qui étaient des entreprises dans des secteurs en croissance, des secteurs gagnants.
The SDA bought about 2 million square feet of the Angus Yards from CP Rail. Almost half of that is developed, with 16 buildings, each with its own unique role to play in the ecosystem of the development.
Social enterprise is really the DNA of Société de Développement Angus.
Le Carrefour de l'économie sociale, for example, is home to some 10 social economy businesses like Groupe Part. The nonprofit helps people with mental health issues reintegrate into the workforce. Its neighbor is a public daycare.
C'est d'avoir un quartier inclusif. Il s'adresse à toutes ces clientèles-là et que personne ne se sente exclu.
The Giant Steps Autism Center built its new home here. The specialized school for 4 to 21-year-olds also serves as a research and innovation hub and offers adult education and employment services. So you moved into the community about a year ago, and of course your focus is providing everything that your participants and students need. But do you find that you've also connected with the community here?
I think we have. There are autistic employees already that work in the neighborhood. There are autistic individuals that live in the neighborhood. We've offered conferences, resource fairs. So already we've been connecting with many different organizations. And we launched a large autism inclusive hiring initiative within Angus and the east of Montreal. So the welcome's been great. I think already we're fitting in fairly well.
Where are we headed to right now?
Now we are going on one of the latest public square that we have developed. This in front of us is what we call the Annex. We are now walking in front of Beaufort, one of the best tables in Montreal.
Hugan and Beaufort opened in 2015, one of the first restaurants to open on the site. Mila Ryshkova and her chef husband took a chance on an untested location because they saw the potential for something big.
There's definitely something special going on here.
The farm-to-table restaurant favors local products, and that fits in with the SDA's philosophy of only leasing to independent and local stores.
We will not find ourselves in a competition with the restaurant that does the same exact thing as we do, but there will be a lot of restaurant offers around. It's very well curated, if I can say it that way.
The SDA's initial goal was to attract 1,500 office and retail jobs to this village. Today, 75 small and medium businesses employ 3,000 people in healthcare, science, the creative industries, retail, and restaurants. Families have moved into the 3- and 4-bedroom condos, and there's a plan underway to move the theater from Cégep du Vieux-Montréal here, with programs specifically for families.
It definitely feels like a village and a family at once. It's a village within a village.
Do you see it as a success story?
They kept in mind what they wanted to do, and they achieved everything.